Okay, so our next question is about wedding inquiries. When someone emails you and asks, hey, how much do you charge for a wedding? And they just emailed, and that's basically it. How do you take it from that point? Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go first. Sure, because then Cubby can correct everything that I say wrong. But basically, anytime on my inquiry form that I get, it tells me the services that they're interested in, right? But if they straight up ask price, or they even ask, or just like give me that information, really don't say a whole lot, I start basically just asking them questions about the services they've already told me. And I think that and the whole reason why I do it is I want to get that conversation flowing, right? I put the services out there on the forum because I want them thinking about, oh, he does offer these things. But I want to then turn around and ask them about it, at least somewhat, to get that conversation going and to get that broken down. So that way, when I do end up presenting the price, I've now exchanged that back and forth a few different times. And we've talked about maybe XYZ services that they're interested in. And now it suddenly seems a little bit more reasonable versus I just want a price from this DJ and I don't really know anything about them other than the price they give me.
So Dan, when they email you and say they found your email address somewhere, and they have not looked at anything beyond, they found that email address and said, "Hey, Dan, how much do you charge for a wedding?" Do you try to send them back to your contact form?
No. Most of the times it happens on my contact form first. Every once in a while, I do get an email. So if you're talking that direction where it's just a pure email, it's immediately it's about questions. It's when are we talking about? Like, where is this? Like, let me, and I usually do the first thing if they don't even have a date on there. If it's purely, hey, just what do you charge for this? You know what? Before we get into all that, I need to make sure that I have it available. I mean, what is the date that you're looking at? I've had a couple where they come back and they're like, well, we're thinking this date or this date. All right, well, you know what? I happen to have both of those open, or I've got this one, but I don't have that one. Let's continue talking. Like, where are you looking at? Obviously, you haven't booked a venue yet. So is there a particular one you're looking at? And just even though I don't charge differently for date, I don't charge differently for venue. There's some venues I just won't do, right? If they're that difficult, I just say, heck with it. I'm not going to charge extra. I'm just not going to do it because I'll be miserable, right? So there's some of those types of things that work into it, but my price is pretty much straightforward. So, but I ask those questions again, just to get that conversation going. The hardest ones I have responding to are the ones that basically say, we want all this, and this is our, like in a pure just email where I can't like use the form to my advantage and say, oh, I didn't see the form. Like, but they'll say, we're interested in this, this, and this, and it's on this date at this venue. What do you charge? And then it's like, I got no questions to ask. So it becomes a little bit harder. I still try and find something to start out that doesn't immediately jump to price. But if they're giving me all of those smack in your face like pieces, sometimes I'll just give them the price and then I'll ask them a question to get back to me. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't in those cases.
Sure. Cubby?
Now, Cubby, what should I do better?
I was getting the thing. It's like, and I don't put all those things on my Dan probably for that reason purposely because I want to strike up that conversation. Like, oh my God, that's a great question. To be able to afford to give you pricing, I need to know like how many hours you need ceremony sound, where's your venue, and I start asking all these questions, and then I follow up with like, sometimes a simple 10-minute phone call can answer all those questions, and that way I can share with you my passion, my ideas, see what your ideas are, and see that we're a great fit for each other. And 9 times out of 10, I get a phone call within 24 to 48 hours.
It's interesting because I a lot of times you hear from, for lack of better terms, some of the experts. You don't jump for the phone call right away. It's like, and I've heard the adage. It's like walking up to. Yep. Yeah, and you walk up, it's like walking up to, a member of the opposite sex that you're interested in at a bar and asking for their phone number without ever saying hi. Like, but obviously it's working for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like I said, when I throw it back on them, and then sometimes I'll reply back, well, we're doing ceremony sound, and I don't want to overprice it and scare you away, and I don't want to underprice it and you not have everything you need. Let's have a time to chat. And like I said, they love it. I mean, like I said, I have no problems in doing that whatsoever, and asking to get them on the phone. And and I just say simple 10-minute phone call. And I do keep it short and sweet. And then we just share, and then it's very easy. Like I said, it's I don't know. I've been successful that way. I don't know why.
So my methodology is,
Go ahead.
Is Brian is in the chat room? Brian Red is there, and he's meant his statement is, "I gave up. I give him a base price and explain it goes up from there." I've taken a variation of that, but instead of doing a base price and going up, it's basically our most common wedding package that is booked every season is this amount. Now, some weddings don't need that, and they've gone to a smaller, more basic package, and some have gone more extravagant. Let's talk a little bit about what to kind of find out, so I can give you an accurate quote for the day. And then that has, in some cases, done very well, and in some cases, they've been like, "Hey, I saw you at so and so's wedding, and I want that. What is it going to cost?" I mean, that seems to be what has gone on the most this fall. It's like, "Yeah, you were at their wedding, and we just want that." And what is it? It's like, but we could talk and see if there's something no, we want that. Okay. So the idea of that, the most common package price is this has done pretty well for me when it's been a call, more of a cold call type of a situation, or a cold email where they're just looking for a price. And of course, there's all the questions and such, and Mikey's mentioned that in the chat room. So, okay, we've got time enough for probably one more question. So let's see. There we go. I want to make sure I got one loaded up. All right, we'll be back in a sec here.